All right, so this is our second installment of Tattoo Shop Q&A. We don't have an official name for it yet. If you guys saw last time, we made the same comment. We are just doing Q&A live here in the Tattoo Shop, Clovis, California, at High Sierra Tattoo Co. And I am Joshua Ray Farmer, tattoo artist here, and this is...
Clovis Smith, and I am an apprentice here at High Sierra Tattoo.
Yes, so we did our first Q&A last week, and it came out great. Well, at least I had a lot of fun doing it. Felicia rock and rolled and handled it like a champ. So I'm just going to actually be completely quiet during this episode and let her completely take over.
Oh, completely take over, right?
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to. I'm going to talk a lot. Oh, why is that on? So, no, but I do. I want you to answer some of the questions, like a couple of them, and then I'll answer, and we'll kind of go back and forth.
Okay.
I think last time I answered most of them first.
Yeah.
And you gave me your input. We're going to try to switch it up a little.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
This isn't going to be ASMR style, but we do have these fancy schmancy microphones, so it all smells. It all smells really straight. So this will be a lot of fun.
Sounds amazing.
So we did ask for some questions. You guys did answer, or we asked 4 questions, and you guys submitted them, and we will answer. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We're going to jump right into our first one. So last week, for example, you guys submitted some questions. Some of them we didn't read. Lo and behold, this time it's going to be the same thing. There's a couple of questions we went over. We decided we're not going to read them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a couple of them just don't really make sense.
So I would think they would. It's gonna shit on the vibe.
Yeah.
We'll just say that. So we're not going to ask them out loud. Mike, you know who you are. So I will actually answer one of your questions here in a minute, but for the most part, some of your questions are not going to get answered. So you guys can ask whatever you want. I'm going to try to submit it every week on Instagram and Facebook. Any questions? I will say also ahead of time that what we're going to eventually do is actually get you guys to merge over to YouTube. That's just for the future. Right now, I'm going to do this on Facebook, and we're going to go live here. But the plan is to eventually do it on YouTube because I have a little more creative freedom there, a little more sort of creative power on the YouTube channel. So I'm going to be broadcasting, doing exactly what we're doing here, but we're going to be switching it over to YouTube. Once that's the case, you guys will hopefully be used to it by then. We'll still be asking questions on Facebook and Instagram. So if you're following us there, that's where you can submit those questions. And then, of course, be answering them live on YouTube. So if you're not following me on YouTube, go look up my full name, Joshua Ray Farmer. You probably can't really miss it if you just type that in and search. Subscribe to it if you want notifications. Of course, you know what to do. You've probably been on there before. But in the meantime, we're going to do it here until we get enough of you guys notified that we're merging this over to YouTube eventually. So if you start following us now, you'll be up to date. So we're going to go right into our first question. I'm going to read it, and you're going to answer it.
Okay.
So first question. I can't read the person's name. Kyle. I'm going to guess that's what it is. Thoughts on finishing what someone else started. So again, they're talking about tattoos. So thoughts on finishing what somebody else started.
Me, myself, personally, I'm not a huge, or probably won't be a huge fan on doing this when I am an artist. I feel like it's kind of just a respect thing. I don't want to personally touch somebody else's work, especially not without their permission.
So that's a great way to look at it, because there's been actually a lot of times where I've had people ask me, other artists say, hey man, do you want to finish this person's work? I'm moving, or I can't do it. So it's always a great way to do it, of course, is not stepping on toes. One thing you don't want to do, which is impossible to always stay super true to, but you want to make sure you're respecting other people's work and showing that respect. Even if it's work you don't necessarily like or want to do, no matter what, I always respect it, just because it's different than yours doesn't mean it's not good. It's just different. So always letting people try to finish what they started. Also, if I were to answer that, thoughts on finishing what somebody else started, the first thing I would say is, why are you not letting them finish it? So there's a few good reasons why you wouldn't. One is they're in jail, which has happened to me. They went to prison, so they can't finish it. Another one, unless it's not that long, maybe they're going for like 6 months. Another reason might be because they literally physically cannot finish it. For some specific maybe health reasons or something related. I totally understand that. But I actually am a fan of artists reaching out to people and talking to each other as a community and like saying, hey man, like I know you started this. How do you feel about it? Even as an artist myself, if I was in a situation where I wanted somebody else to finish my work, I would like point out somebody else that can handle it that I feel like would be sufficient. But then also, I'll just give you guys a little hint. I promised I wouldn't make all these questions really super long-winded, but some of them might be. Another little bit of food for thought for you guys is if somebody else hasn't finished your work, it's either yours or theirs or both of your guys' sort of issue together, and there's usually a good indicator of why that's not working out for you. Why would we want to then step in and do that for you? Why would we want to pick up something somebody else doesn't want to finish? There's probably nobody likes to believe this, so there's probably a good reason why they don't want to finish it, or there's a good reason why you aren't getting it finished. Maybe, with scheduling issues between the two of you, or commitment issues, or money, or time, or whatever it is. So no, usually we don't like to finish what somebody else started. But that's aside from collaborations. It's not the same thing. We're just talking about somebody else's work completely. So that's first question. And then second question. So we'll kind of go back and forth. How about we do that?
Which one should I go with next?
Let's go across the board.
Okay. So Garcia says, I need an appointment. Hit me up. I want to finish up. So if you want to make another appointment, you can make one on our website. Josh is pretty booked up, so I would go on there as soon as possible, because if you want to finish your piece, you should probably get in.
Yeah, as soon as possible, for sure. She's right. Just go to our website. The best way is come in. I say this all the time. We built a shop and have a front door for a reason. We're here till 5 o'clock Monday through Friday, sometimes later, but at least until then. If you go to the website, highsierratattooco.com, go to the contact page, fill it out, done. Answer there. And if that doesn't work for you for some reason, whether it goes to spam or just falls through the cracks, come in. Come check us out. Come talk to us. Ask us. Everybody here's really cool. I'm the only scary one. So just come in and, we'll hook you up. We'll get you rolling. So that was for Garcia. All right. So, Mikey, we're going to skip your question and go to your second question out of 4. Anyway, Mr. Loney, you are quite the comedian. It's actually a good childhood friend of mine. Oh. He lives in Oregon. Throwing him under the bus. If you had a time machine and you could only use it once, what would you do? Should you answer that first? Does anything come to your head?
Honestly, I would go to the future. Like, a bunch of people say that they would go back in the past and change stuff, but I feel like I want to see what's going on 30 years down the road.
That might be
to
really
decide
scary.
whether or not I want to have kids or not.
Okay.
Because
okay. That's one way to see it. Okay. I see that. If I had a time machine, wow. That's a really personal question, because there's a million things that come to mind. One is, if it's related to money, I'm going to go back in time and know what the future is. So I'm going to write a bunch of songs. I'm going to write a bunch of movies. I'm going to beat Shakespeare at his poems, and I'm going to write every Nirvana song ever before Kurt Cobain is even born. So then that way, when these things become popular, it's all credited to my estate.
Kurt Cobain.
Right, and I could take credit for his songs if I went back in time before him. I know it's jacked up. It's jacked up. Man. Hey, it's jacked up, but maybe that's already happened. Maybe that's what it is. Time travelers steal from the future, go back in time and make it better, and that's why they're superstars.
That's a whole theory, and then they change something like something little, like Nelson Mandela not really dying in prison. Right. That's why they call it the Mandela effect.
Yeah, it's either that or go to the future to see what happens, so I can make bets now and make a ton of money off it. So it just depends on what you guys are talking about. If you're talking about life experiences, money, or whatever, or changing the past or the future, I'm just going to stick with money because that's less personal. I would go into the past and I'd write symphonies and every lyric I can think of before the actual artist did, and I would just steal their shit, to be honest with you. Because then I'd be the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
How did this guy predict the future? Like Nostradamus completely. I would be remembered forever as the guy who predicted the future, and what they don't know is that I was from the future.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's one way to do it. Okay, so that question from Mr. Loney. There's something else. I don't really understand this question, so we'll go through this one kind of quick. But what was something you always wanted as a kid? Wait, we're gonna do this. What am I doing?
Oh, what is something that you always wanted as a kid when you became an adult? I'm gonna answer that with yes.
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 Yes. Exactly. I don't really. The only thing I could think of is a motorcycle. I mean, a tattoo. I'm not really sure. There's a whole lot of things I wanted as a kid, but the stuff I want as an adult is way cooler than the shit I wanted as a kid. So I've gotten a lot of stuff now. So that's pretty easy to say. I will say, actually, one thing that comes to mind right away is being a dad. When I was little, that's what I wanted to have, and the future was kids. And now that I have it, it's like way more rad than I actually thought it would be. So that's pretty fucking awesome. Okay, so we did that. What was something you always wanted? What? Okay, so I'm gonna read this one, and you're gonna answer it. What's your go-to take a picture face? Is that it?
This face.
There you go. She's got it. I'm going to act like that was pointed towards you. So that's perfect. You answered it. All right. So IB Janice 13.
Do you think tattoo artists develop a noticeable style where you work or where you can recognize their work?
Do you think tattoo artists develop a noticeable style where you can recognize their work? What do you think? Like, if it was a yes or no?
Yeah, like over time. Yeah, over
Right.
time.
I would say yes, but there's stipulations. It definitely takes time.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you're going to recognize somebody's work other than it being shitty, meaning they're probably starting. That's just how you have to start. You have to start, being crappy. Hopefully not too crappy, but, as crappy as necessary so you can make enough mistakes to learn from it quick. But do you think artists develop a noticeable style and to where you can recognize their work? 100%, given enough time and effort. The truth, there's kind of two parts to that. For that to happen, first you have to learn everything you need to learn in terms of skill, and then you have to merge that with your ability to do and imagine or to envision art. So you take the skill to be able to do the art itself so that you can finally, hopefully one day, make something that touches people, moves people, or just is, like you're saying here, just recognizable. It takes a lot of time. You just got to learn the skills first. And, they say that good artists copy. And have you heard that before? Good artists copy, great artists steal.
Yeah.
What they mean is, I'm not stealing your work. I'm taking from you everything you know and making it mine and doing it my way. That's kind of how I'd say you develop a style that's noticeable. That's a good one.
Which tattoo artists/artists inspire you?
That's, okay, so there's a guy right away named David Vega that I look at his work all the time because I love black and gray and portraiture. And a lot of the tattoo artists that I follow, as well as friends of mine that are tattooers, they also follow him because I always see the little thing at the bottom saying so-and-so followed or liked this post. But David Vega is maybe not the world's best, but in regards to that, it doesn't really matter to me. I look at his work and think, gosh, if I could learn how to do that, which is like kind of my mission, is to learn how to get to his caliber at this point. He is absolutely amazing. I think he's from down south, San Diego somewhere. But follow him on Instagram, David Vega. You're going to see his work. It's just wicked, and the detail is insane. So I love what he does. There's so many other ones I could go on forever, but that would be the first one that comes to mind. And there's also one person, not because of her tattoos, but because of what she does with her industry within the industry in terms of media. I really respect a girl named Electric Linda. She's a wild flower with crazy hair and tons of colors, totally kind of opposite of me, of course. She's not only female, but she's like just insanely colorful as a person, physically, and I think inside and out. And her media is just awesome. It's fun to watch on YouTube. So that would be something I would say is somebody I look up to. And that's actually one of the reasons why we're doing this, is so we can get our media game going and reach our clientele and our family and friends on here. So she's one of the people I look up to for that.
Nice. On a scale of 1 to tacos, how much will it take to get you to cover up my no one knows what it is tattoo?
Oh, okay. All right. So
Eliza.
You think she's saying that because she might know that we love tacos, or that everybody loves tacos? On a scale of 1 to tacos?
Yeah, honestly, tacos sound really good right now.
I know. I'm not going to lie. We should just end this. It's been 20 minutes. Let's just get out of here.
We can't leave them.
You guys should thank her for that right now. That's why we're here. We're the only reason why we're here.
They want tacos too, huh?
They do.
You guys want tacos too. You guys are here, so thank you.
So she's saying, how much will it take to get you to cover up my no one knows it's what it is tattoo? How much will it take? Well, money is what it takes, and time and pain, effort and commitment. Elizabeth Breath. Lizard breath. I like your name. I don't know what it is, but I'm taking lizard breath from it. So you'll have to come in and let us look at it. That's just the truth. We
or
get a lot of
20 tacos.
or 20. Yeah, fuck. I'm ruined. I can't say no to it, and then I'm just like stuck in it. But yeah, you got to bring it in. Let us take a look at it. It does. We get asked this all the time. I just got asked it about right before we went here live. Oh, by the way, we're not getting any. Let me take a look at this before we answer that question. We're not getting any comments. If you guys are watching this and you're not commenting, it's either because you can't. Let's take a look and see. Make sure that's not the case, or you're just not, which means you're a dick. Comment and leave us comments. Let's see here.
There's only 2 people on, that's why.
There's only 2 people watching, but there's been more than 2 throughout this little live session. Let's see here. Edit post, privacy. You can comment on this post. Public friends. Let's see. Done. It looks to me like if people wanted to comment, they could. So, yes, there's only 2 people currently watching. This is actually a lot of fun, though, by the way.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
If nobody was watching this right now, like at all, it wouldn't even matter to me because doing this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd still do it.
It's really cool. Okay, so back to the question. On a scale of 1 to tacos, how much would it take to cover or to take care of somebody's no one knows what it is tattoo? Sometimes it's not even possible, or it's just something I won't sign up for. If it's not something I see as being, advantageous for me to step in and do something with it, then a lot of times I'll say no. That's not because there isn't something you could do. It's just because I'm spoiled and I've worked really hard and I have a lot of really loyal customers that keep me busy, and I just don't need to sign up to do things that don't show off my work. It has nothing to do with being crappy work or good work or whatever. I just have the opportunity, and I've worked really hard at trying to get enough clientele that I can stay booked enough that I don't have to take on that kind of work. Doesn't mean somebody else can't, or that 100% I won't, but you have to come in, let us take a look. Oh, do I read it now? Now I can't you know what we're going to need? We're going to need like a little like ticker or like counter or this.
Yeah.
Like it's my turn, your turn thing?
Yeah.
Next time. Oh, we'll do that. Awesome. Look at that. You're so smart. Jeez, ASMR time. Do you believe in aliens? Taylor, that is probably the best question. We already talked about this because we read that question earlier. Were you here when we did that?
Yeah.
Okay. We talked about this for like 20 minutes, probably 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we could probably talk about it forever. One is because it has to do with space and time is pretty much infinite. So at least in terms of our human scale. So that being said, I want to talk to you about aliens so bad, but if I start right now, we will never leave this room.
I think it would just be safe to say it would be pretty ignorant not to believe in aliens.
Right, because alien would just be any life form on another planet other than ours.
Yeah.
So of course there is like just in the vast possibilities that exist.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot of people that say no. Like if you talk to people about people like this and they're like, oh, I don't believe in aliens.
Like that's any life form, like life form can literally be like plants.
Or
like
bacteria, like microscopic. Yeah. It could be a dead planet and then you look closer and there's like things growing in the dirt.
Still counts as life.
Right. So the chances of that not existing is actually, that would be actually the mind-blowing result, which is if you could travel the whole universe and not find anything, like literally nothing living anywhere, it's just cold, hard dirt and just stark water. Yeah.
That would be a shocker.
That would be insane. Like this whole thing for nothing, just for stuff, just for material.
Yeah.
No life. Anyway, I really doubt it. I'm pretty sure that that's
I
the
hope
thing.
there's more out there.
Now, I guess a more sort of accurate question or a different way to ask that question would be, do you think we'll ever know contact or have we been? It's a little more specific. See, there's nobody commenting. So if you guys are watching this, maybe you can't comment. I don't see any comments. You should be commenting. We are live here, currently entertaining you.
How do we look?
Yeah, how do we look? How do we sound?
Talk to us.
I mean, what are you guys doing? Sitting on your couches right now, or you're slightly distracted from maybe something else you should be doing? How many of you are sitting right now with your phone watching this while also watching something else? Comment below. Okay, we do have a couple more questions.
We do.
Oh, by the way, the aliens question is a real easy yes or no. Yes. Do I believe in aliens? Yes, of course. I think there was a time where that sounded psycho. And by the way, for a lot of you that maybe aren't necessarily science buffs, and I'm not saying I'm by any means like a qualified scientist in any way, but I do know that there was in very recent history, in the last century, there was a time for our grandparents that they thought the Milky Way galaxy was the whole universe, which, by the way, even if it was, that's still hundreds of billions of stars with hundreds of billions of other life form opportunities with planets around it. But we did find out within the last century that, and I don't remember the exact date, I think it was early 1900s, maybe later, that we found out that the Milky Way was not the only galaxy in the universe, that there's hundreds of billions of other galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of other stars. So that's about as scientific as I can get with you, but just know this. If there's one planet in this Milky Way with life form on it, there's hundreds of other billions of Milky Way-like sort of forms out there that could absolutely have life multiple times. So if you think about it that way, most people used to not believe in aliens because the Milky Way was the universe to them at the time. But then we looked further with telescopes and other tools, and now we've detected that there's hundreds of billions of other Milky Way-like structures. So I think we're still weaning off of the old people who thought like maybe it's possible. Like if you said there was just one Milky Way, it is possible, conceivable. Maybe there isn't as much life as we thought. But if there's hundreds of billions of structures like that out there with hundreds of billions of stars, then you can't say that there's no life. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
There we go. She's working and listening. Maybe you shouldn't say where you work unless that's totally allowed, but that's pretty cool, actually. That'd be weird if we were tattooing and listening to other people's like live.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. Probably not going to do it. No, that's cool that she's listening to the Sachi. We love you. So the rest of you, just so you know, you can comment and you haven't. So that's kind of fucked up. Can we say that?
I think so.
Is that a Facebook thing?
It's fucked up.
I mean, fucked up is close to Facebook. That's a close word. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. Who cares? Okay. We do have a couple more questions we're going to get to.
What tattoo would you suggest to put on a woman's foot that is a size 12?
I already know. So I premeditated this answer. I'm just going to full disclosure because this is from my client today. Actually, we had a great time in tattooing her, and we were poking fun at the size of her feet. I absolutely didn't bring it up. She brought it up and said she had big feet, and I just rolled with the punches and made up a bunch of what I thought were funny jokes. So this is my premeditated answer to what would you suggest putting on a woman's foot that is a size 12? I would say tattoo a size 6 because nobody likes women with size 12. That's so messed up. If she watches this, she's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
But it's still funny. And I'm just kidding because you're stuck with a size 12. But I would tattoo a size 6 on your size 12.
Or what was your other idea?
What was my other idea?
Noah's Ark.
Oh, God, that was my first idea. What would you get on a size 12 woman's foot tattoo? Noah's Ark. So you could float this boat. You could one of each animal. No, two of each animal. Two of each animal. I have a trick question for you. Felicia, you want to answer it? Ready?
Yeah.
How many of each animal did Moses bring on the ark?
It was 2.
Mm-mm.
No, was it?
He didn't bring any. Noah did.
Oh, yeah, duh.
That's a great one.
I didn't read the Bible.
That one just stunts you because it's Noah's Ark, not Moses' Ark.
Oh, yeah.
But it's close enough that it gets people.
Yeah,
It got me.
You got me.
And I've read the Bible
That was a
multiple
good
times. It is, but it's the Bible. So let's go with what's next. Is this? Wait, see now it's in the middle.
Yeah,
of it.
That's
pass
because
it to
I
me.
passed
Okay.
it over to you.
Because you read the boat foot
Yeah.
question.
And then you took your phone, so I gave you back the
Oh,
crystal.
nice.
Because it's your turn.
I'm handsy.
It's okay.
All right. So Rochelle Renee, aka my sister, asked a question. What brings you peace? So I'm gonna let you answer that first.
Oh, while I'm at the shop, I would say what brings me the most peace here is drawing. I've drawn for therapy for a really long time. But whenever I do find myself in like mental blocks, because everybody gets them, it's normal. I also find myself finding my peace just by like dancing alone, like in a room by myself. You know, it's like shaking out all the energy.
Nice.
Like I feel like I'm resetting my energy when
Like
I do that.
therapeutic dancing in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's your piece.
Mhm.
I would love to see this dancing.
It just like
It's like
turns and spins and
I was just
shit.
thinking like that I'm gonna butcher this word, like shamanic or whatever, like the shaman like movements.
Oh,
Have you heard those?
like,
Yeah, they do. But it like I've done it once, and it scared me because it was so like visceral. It like, man, like I wasn't ready for it, so I stopped. So anyway, not that I'm a coward. I don't think. I'm waiting until I have the fortitude to do such a experience. I think it was letting
Yeah.
things out of me that I wasn't just ready for, like
Yeah.
anxieties and tensions and energies. I'm like, oh, that's actually does something. Like when you see them dancing around fires,
Yeah.
like let's say primitive sort of dances, that stuff is like very in tune with your body, I think.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating. So what brings you peace? If I answer that, it's really simple. I'll tell you the scenario. When I'm laying in bed, my whole family's taken care of. I'm the last one to lay down. I've checked all the doors and all the locks. The fridge is full of food. The next day, we're probably going on vacation, or it's the weekend, or we're going to ride bikes in the morning to get breakfast. It's dark. The house is nice and secure. The dogs are snoring. Everybody's comfy in bed, fast asleep, probably dreaming about whatever. And the next morning, not only will I go to bed after them, but I'll wake up before them. And I absolutely get to be a part of their complete life, not just a part of their life. So that brings me that moment where all that's done, where I'm just going to bed and that everything I've done and everything that I need to do is finished. That's the most peaceful thing I've ever experienced in my life. But next to like waterfalls, ocean, mountains, and that's kind of cliche to say, but like I feel really at peace in the mountains. I don't think anything comes close to being at peace in my safe, comfortable home with my family taken care of. So what brings you peace, Rochelle? That is it. Now you know. There are some people now talking. Thanks, Rochelle, for jumping on. We don't feel so lonely. Great answers. I don't know. Love the yardstick. Am I missing something?
Love the yardstick.
Love the yardstick. Is there something behind me? Is there a yardstick behind me?
I don't know.
Maybe
what
there's
we're
a
talking
yardstick
about,
on
the
us.
yardstick.
On me. Maybe she means something else. Kevin, you're rad. I do love you, brother. Rochelle Renee, she calls me Joshy. Take it easy with the names. Kevin Ernst, you're a good father, Josh. Well,
Josh is getting
I do
jealous.
appreciate you, and it takes one to know one. So yeah, Danielle is watching, and she said, wow, did you not expect that answer, Danielle, for your foot question about what I would tattoo on a size 12 foot for a woman? Well, Noah's Ark, or a size 6 foot, because nobody likes size 12. That can't be true. She's been married since she was in like high school or something. So somebody likes it.
Yeah,
Marlene did jump
who
on
loves
here.
it?
We see you, Marlene. She's waving, saying hello. What's up?
Hi, Marlene.
Yep. So we already said hi to Sachi. We see Rochelle, Kevin. What's up, guys? So we're coming to the end of our questions. I haven't read this last one yet, but we're about to now. Since it's now your turn, we're going to let Felicia read this one.
Is there any tattoo you're not willing to do? Like a certain style or piece people ask for?
There's a lot of tattoos I'm not willing to do. Very specifically, just anything that's kind of against my moral compass. That there's a lot of that, so I could get into the weeds with that. But a couple examples would be things that are what's considered hate symbols, and just things that don't align with my beliefs. I'm well established enough to be able to tell people to fuck off, especially if they ask for something that I'm just totally against. It doesn't happen often. It's really, really rare. I think it'd surprise people to find out that some big tattooed white guy in Clovis doesn't often get people to ask for swastikas or, KKK related type, racist shit. Like nobody asks for that. And they definitely don't come to me and ask for that. So that's a good thing. Gang related, even if it's gangs that are clubs type stuff, that I usually stay away from that. It's not my business. So I let the people within that community handle it. Not that I have anything against it. Specifically, I'm neutral to it. It's not my business, so I stay out of it. But then there's the second part to it.
Like a certain style or piece people ask for.
Okay, so it's like something that's regular people bring up that I don't do?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of that.
I have a
Why
list.
don't you rattle off some of those?
The compass tattoo, the lion tattoo, the forest, the dark forest tattoo, where it's not an actual forest, it's just the outline of a forest.
Just black trees.
It's just black trees. It's like there could have been so much detail. What you doing?
It's an easy go-to. It is. It's an easy go-to. It's ironic because as artists, we get disgruntled a little bit. Like, no doubt, we get disgruntled. I do this all the time where it's like stop bringing me infinity symbols, cancer ribbons, and quotes. But I totally get that means something to people, because I get stuff like I get lettering and I hate doing lettering. So I get that it's important to you. But as an artist, it's our job to like convey what it is we do and don't want to do, and which is difficult because there's plenty of, we used to call it Pinterest kind of related tattoos, but Pinterest is so great for images that now you can't really use that anymore. But the typical sort of like, bring us, the things that people will bring us an image and say, I want this, but I don't want you to be like everybody else's. I'm sorry, but 100 people last week, okay, maybe 100 people last month brought me that image, which isn't a stretch of the imagination. There's been times where I've seen that image so many times, and we don't always want to do that.
Yeah.
So, but if there's anything specific that people ask for on a regular basis that I'm not willing to do out of like, not just because I don't want to, but maybe saying out of style wise, it's just letters. I'm dyslexic as hell. I'm an artist. I'm creative and imaginative highly. So letters.
I have a good question. This might go hand in hand with this question, but do you get a lot of finger tattoos? And what is your response to finger tattoos? Because I feel like that can go hand in hand. No pun intended.
No pun intended. Hand tattoos I'm down with. I mean, I obviously have some. You have, I think, a couple fingers. Do you mean like fingers, side fingers, knuckles? Like what?
Just in general.
Just in general? I mean, I think they're great. And obviously we live in a world today where it's a lot more acceptable. So getting it isn't like a job killer for receptionists and bankers and, lawyers. It's kind of ironic because hasn't been true for very long. But as a tattoo artist perspective, there is a point on your hand. Like, for example, if you guys want finger tattoos, you can kind of split your finger in half this way horizontally and say from there down, the tattoo is probably not going to stick. Even though there are some types of skin that it will work on, most people, like even your hands, they're soft enough it might stick. But for most people, especially the bottoms of the hands, like on me, that's just not going to happen. It's going to come right out. A lot of my friends in construction work, they get kind of lettering on the side of their hands, or even like in this area. I couldn't get closer, but you can even see like these stars are going to be a lot more faded, if that shows up at all. No, a lot more faded than these ones here. That's just because from here down, it's just not going to stick. So it's hard to commit to something. So like names or dates, numbers, or really highly detailed things aren't the smartest thing to do on the side of the fingers. The top of the fingers are pretty normal skin, so they're going to stay forever for the most part. But your hands, you have to think they regenerate. I think it's like every 3 or 4 months your skin regenerates completely, whereas like your whole body takes like 10 years to regenerate completely, but your hands do it every like 3 months. So, but within 1 year, you've done it 3 or 4 times in terms of your new skin cells in your hand, whereas your body takes every 10 years. So you've done it twice in 20. Okay. So your body's going to hold the tattoo well. Your hand is going to hold it a lot less permanently. So just be smart about what you put on there and think of it more temporary almost.
Okay. So that's not something like you like turn down just because it is something that has to be touched up a couple times?
We do a lot of things that actually need to be, some stuff we know will need to be touched up. Mm-hmm. Some types of work, but also placements, no matter what, inevitably will need to be touched up. But we don't turn it down for that reason unless somebody wants something that we know just won't work. I'm trying to think, I don't know why it's slipping me, but there's some things people ask for all the time. Well, like the inner lip right here.
Oh, yeah.
People will ask for that, and it just doesn't hold into the way that looks like it would here. So I just warn people, because sometimes they'll get pissed and they'll come back and want it fixed. And it's like, okay, well, we have to make sure that when we charge people for the tattoo, we charge accordingly to them wanting to come back and fix it. So we don't necessarily tell them no.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe that leads me to a deeper sort of, or one of the bigger no's that we kind of try to stay away from, which is really face tattoos. And it has nothing to do with people who have them. It's really just simply that, we live in Clovis. We're not like a highly radical town. Like, it's pretty mellow, as much as I sometimes wish it wasn't. It is what it is. And we do love it here. And we don't get a lot of that. So when we do get that, we haven't had enough experience to really commit to saying yes to people if they want something on their face, because we don't get a lot of experience with it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times I'll say no, not because I think it's a dumb idea, but because, I think it's maybe just our responsibility. But like, I would like to just say, hey, don't get your, boyfriend or girlfriend's name on you. That's retarded. But I also have mixed opinions about that. I think it's fine if you're committed. I think it's stupid if you just met them. But that's up to you guys to be dumb and pay us. So I think that's fine. All right. So there is I don't think any questions. So you guys aren't submitting any questions on this actual feed, although you can. So keep that in mind. On here, you guys can absolutely submit questions, which is what we're doing right now, is reading off of Instagram questions. You guys can, of course, ask us there when we post. We usually do it, well, we're going to start doing it at least a day or two leading up to Wednesdays, which is when we're going to do our weekly Q&A. It's how we've been doing our weekly Q&A. Eventually, like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, that we're going to start taking you guys from here to YouTube. Eventually, I would like to be primarily on YouTube for multiple reasons. One, just being because I have more creative freedom, but also it's a great place to interact with you guys on a regular and have control over the stream. So we're going to be doing this exact same thing on YouTube, which means right now, when we're done with this, or just hang up now and do this, go and check out our YouTube page, which is Joshua Ray Farmer. Just look it up, connect with us there, subscribe, whatever, hit the notification bell. You guys have heard it all before. Go do that. And then that way, when we do start merging over very soon, once you guys get used to seeing us here, we're going to ask you to go there. And then that's where we're going to remain. We're going to do the same thing on Instagram, is try to ask everybody to go over there. That way we can interact with you guys a little differently, but with this same sort of content. We'll be asking questions still on Facebook and Instagram. We're going to be posting that weekly so that you guys can submit questions and then we can answer them live still like this. And you guys can as well. We can see all your comments up on screen. So feel free during the stream to ask questions, if you didn't get to or if you didn't catch it in the stories post. So feel free to do that as well. So Marlene, is that why you asked that? Because of what Marlene put up here about the fingers? No. So Marlene asked, what about side finger tattoos that blur? It's a risk. So, as a professional, you always want to let people know that, and, as being an apprentice, something that you probably have to, you have to really start out doing right away is getting used to not promising, of course, people the world, but knowing what it is that is and isn't possible to achieve. So like, for example, finger tattoos absolutely are going to need to be touched up. Every single time I've ever done one, there's something you can do to touch up, make it better. So they do blur, they do fade, sometimes completely literally fall off. So you gotta warn that to the customer. If they say, hey, cool, then whatever, do it. And they're, get them back in for the touch up, but just warn them that there's times where even for me, I've had to tell them, look, the first touch up is included in the price, but the second and third one is going to be on you because I can't guarantee that your skin's going to like to hold this. And it's really nothing to no, fault of my own.
Yeah, I asked because that is something that was specifically restricted by a previous shop of mine. Mm-hmm. No toe, bottom of foot, palm, or fingers whatsoever. It just wasn't something that they did.
Interesting.
And it's just good to know, because every shop is different.
Yeah, there's a lot of shops that have different rules. Growing up, again, it was a lot of taboo stuff in the tattoo world that today is normalized. So there was a lot of states that wouldn't let throat tattoos. I think there still are. There's places that won't let inner arms, like upper inner arms near your, your arteries. They won't allow that. Throats, face, hands. There's a lot of places that ban that. There's counties that ban it. There's certain rules some counties have that won't let you, you got to know where you're from, what the rules are and what the regulations are. Historically, they've been really tight and almost to the point to where it was just illegal to tattoo at all if you go far enough back. But there's definitely going to be some stuff that each shop's going to be more comfortable with. We don't do a lot of, I'd say, hardcore stuff. Some of you might be more familiar with what that means, but to us, that's like faces, hands, necks, throats. We really don't do the heads and the faces often enough to feel comfortable in saying we'll do it. Although there's times where we're excited to try something new, and you just have to work that out with your individual artist. And then my sister is asking you a question.
Yes. I put my thumbs up for you earlier because I was agreeing it is a carnelian stone.
I have no idea what that means.
It is a crystal. Carnelian's just the name of it.
Okay. Is it like the color or the type of rock? Is that what it is?
Just the type of rock.
So we've been passing it back and forth. I've been doing a terrible job because, well, whatever, I'm doing my best. But so that we know who's asking which question, that might be a really great idea just to keep this in tow so that we can pass it back and forth. Mm-hmm. But it's really cool. And in your hand, it's neat because it keeps the temperature, the ambient temperature around it. Yeah. It's if you're not touching it, it's cool. But if you hold on to it, it's warm, and let go of it, someone else grabs it, it's going to be warm. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. I'm not a crystal person. I don't know what that would even mean. Are there crystal people out there? Is that like a thing? Is that I'm into crystals?
If so, I guess I'm into crystals.
Yeah. How people say, hey, do you game?
Oh yeah.
Like, or hey,
Yeah.
are you a car person? Like, you know what that means?
I think
But
we're just called like astrology girls.
okay,
Like,
astrology girls.
yeah.
Rochelle's saying yay. She likes it. So
It's good for grounding yourself as well as inspiration for creation. Yeah, I keep that in my pocket with me all the time.
really
Yeah,
nice. Was it gifted? You bought it.
I bought it.
Okay. Well, it might be a really good idea for gifts for people like people that want to be crystal people. Wait, what'd you call it? Astrology people? I feel like there would be a name, like
Oh,
a word for it, like
crystal enthusiast.
a crystal
Crystal
enthusiast.
enthusiast.
If you guys are crystal enthusiasts, you probably already know what this is, just like Rochelle did.
Metaphysical people. I like that. I
There you go.
really like that.
Okay, metaphysical people. Thanks for joining in, sis. You're awesome. One of these days, actually, we should bring her in on a call. She would love to do this, and she's great at talking, so this would be fun for her.
That would be fun.
All right, guys, we answered all of the questions that were submitted through Facebook and through Instagram. If there's anything you guys are watching this after the live recording and there's anything you guys want to ask, of course, we're going to encourage you to do so. Do it through Facebook, do it through Instagram. Once we're on YouTube, like we stated earlier, once we're doing it there, you can also submit your questions there when we're going live, but you will have to, I believe, be subscribed to the YouTube channel, especially be subscribed to be able to see that we're live. So that's going to be Joshua Ray Farmer. Just go there, subscribe, check it out. We're not currently streaming there yet. We're doing it here, obviously, on Facebook. But we do post these videos at the end on YouTube. If you've missed it and want to watch the whole thing, you can go there and check that out. And also, I don't know if you knew that I was posting them on YouTube. It's like if you want to watch the whole thing, you don't have to go to Facebook, because there's a lot of people who don't have Facebook or use it really. So you can go to YouTube and watch it as well. I think I tagged you. So like, for example, if you guys want to see what Fleecy is up to, or anybody else that ends up being on these shows with us, other hosts and guests, you guys can see in the link below whatever video is posted on YouTube, who that person is, connect with the Instagram, check out their work, say hi to them, and sometimes just be super cool and give us a follow, which is always really rad. Kevin Ernst said New Age people are into crystals. Okay.
Yes.
So New Age metaphysical people.
A lot of the younger generation is getting into it more, but yeah.
Very
I
cool.
feel like it's kind of only that way just because of like social media and TikTok and like stuff like that.
It's getting popular.
Yeah.
Right. I think I see a lot of it. Like somebody, I wonder if I have it in here.
Kind of sucks though, because they
I'm
were
gonna
like,
look for
ever
something
since
really quick.
TikTok came out, the prices of crystals just went up so much. Like moldavite used to be, I got my moldavite piece for like $80, and it was a gorgeous necklace, and I heard those pieces sell for really expensive, unfortunately, which sucks because it's a part of the earth, and I feel like everyone should have a part of the earth because it's our home, but to each their own.
You know what? Let me ask you, can I ask you a really simple, well, maybe it's not a simple question, but maybe we can get a quick answer out of it, because I do know that we're running out of a little bit of time. We got like 5 minutes left. What do you get out of, like, what does it do for you? Like, if you were to like sum it up, like, what is, like, talking about crystals, rocks, stones, or material?
Well, like your sister said, it helps ground you, and I lack grounding techniques. I wasn't really taught how to ground myself really as a kid, and I find that the crystals kind of help me not only deal with my emotions better, but just like, I don't know how to explain it, like talking improved patience.
Like, if you were to say, like,
I don't know.
this, like, okay, I go to it's just for example, I go and watch a sunset. It's pretty easy. That's like the sun's getting close to the horizon. Now's the time to sit down and like everybody be kind of quiet. Like, let's enjoy this moment because it's not going to last long. So I don't know if this is at all relative, but that to me is like, I get a lot out of that, right? Like, there's this magic to like the day going away, and then the sun and the sun going away and the moon getting brighter and coming out. So there's like this transformative sort of, there's this clear transformative thing happening during that moment that I like to be part of. If you could do that daily, that'd be awesome, but at least do it, on a regular basis. Being exposed to the sunlight scientifically is proven to actually, especially evening light, to help you with your circadian rhythm. So we know that. But then same with like watching the sun go down, it's kind of symbolic to us, the day going and turning anew, right? It's like the end of a day, and actually seeing that happen, there's something very magical about that. That's, I think, as close to understanding what I think. By the way, a friend made this for me. I don't actually know what it is, but I love it. And I think that's kind of what this stuff is
Oh, she
for
made
people.
you a homemade crystal or a magic wand.
Isn't it beautiful?
So she wrapped it in copper to heighten the vibration of the crystal that's at the very top. And you can use that to clear your like overall aura. So you can use crystals to either clear your aura or to like help you with certain things like creativity,
Okay.
patience. Black stones usually ward negativity away.
I like that. I saw that earlier on you.
This is my mom's actually. This is black tiger's eye.
That's really
And that
cool.
it was burned in a fire. That's why it's all black and kind of crusted.
Very
And
cool.
then amethyst is good for wisdom, and also if you have an amethyst necklace, it's supposed to be good for drinking problems. So if
Interesting.
any of you guys have drinking problems,
Like spilling your beer when you're walking, is that a problem? I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
let's hope. Let's hope that's the only problems that you're having.
Yes.
But if so, let's get yourself a amethyst necklace.
So, Rochelle is saying, let me see this wand. I won't show you in super detail because we're kind of far from the camera and it probably won't focus. But my friend Michelle made this for me specifically. It's a client of mine. And she is absolutely wonderful. She's an incredible human being. Being around her is obvious right away that she's one of those people that just stand out. I actually am blessed to be able to say I know a lot of people like that, which is really cool. So when they give me things like this, regardless of maybe what some of the details are and whether you're into it or not, I don't think it's very hard to like find out what it is or feel that you can enjoy something like this, even without knowing necessarily the details. I keep this actually here in my tattoo shop all the time just because I love it. So yeah, anyway, this is my wand. Yeah, homemade, personally made just for me, my wand. It's actually purple too because I think she knew that it was my daughter's favorite color. So that's pretty awesome. Let's see. Was there anything we're missing? You guys, I appreciate you guys commenting. That's awesome. Makes it more interactive. It makes us feel like we're not just sitting here talking to a camera in a corner with some creepy dude and a tiny, petite, sweet young lady that just some dark corner of some tattoo shop. So it's nice when you guys interact with us. Yeah, so beginning. Okay, so Jennifer, you did miss the responses to your question, but we did answer them. So go back to the beginning of this and check them out. We appreciate all you guys being on here. Absolutely, truly do. I look forward to doing more. How do you feel about this, Felicia? Do you like this? This is fun.
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's cool. And I think you're an absolute natural.
Thank you.
Which
I
makes-
think you guys need to ask more questions next time, though.
I agree 100%.
And maybe set an alarm for next Wednesday afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Wednesday evening. So it's probably going to be at least after 4 or 5, and somewhere around this hour. I'm not going to commit to a specific hour right now because it'll really depend on the tattoo I'm doing that day. But it's definitely going to be in the evenings about this hour. But I think, like I said, you're a natural. I appreciate you doing this with me. I've had a lot of fun with it,
Me too.
and I look forward to doing more.
Me too.
It's pretty cool. So is there anything else you'd like to say to everybody?
I enjoyed answering your guys' questions to the best of my ability.
Right on. So my cousin did say, what's up? What's up, Dan? Sorry if I didn't see all of you guys or say hello. I do appreciate everybody who watched or everybody that's going to watch after this. Again, guys, go to our YouTube channel. It's just my name, Joshua Ray Farmer. Is where we're going to post these full videos so you don't have to go back into Facebook and watch them. And then eventually it's also going to be where, again, we're going to host these videos. So go there, Joshua Ray Farmer, subscribe to it, get the notifications, whatever you have to do, so that eventually we can answer your guys' questions there. Submit them on there's answers. The questions will be submitted on Facebook and Instagram as well as YouTube once we're there. So feel free to do that now. Or we're just going to keep telling you to do it until you do, because we're going to jump off of here eventually and go straight to YouTube. And right now we're going to jump off here and end our day. And Felicia, thank you so much for co-hosting with me. Everybody, thank you for your questions and for your input, as well as your engagement. And we will see you guys next time. So that will be Wednesday in the evening next week for our 3rd episode of Tattoo Shop Q&A.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.